Here's yet another example of the Mercedes level of preparation. We're on our way out to test drive the new BlueTech diesel SUVs for the first time, and here's an outdoor museum of significant old Mercedes set up on the grounds of the Equinox Hotel here. All of these are diesel Mercedes from the early days. Diesel streamliner designed for high speed runs. What an incredible setup. Yet again, another example of how far ahead of everything Mercedes is. So I think it's worth noting the Mercedes historical exhibit that they have here at the BlueTech introduction. This is a 1936 260D. It's the world's first production diesel passenger car. And here you have a look at it. The thing you got to look at is the back. I guess they had swing axle suspension back in the old days, because look at the camber on those rear tires. Looks dangerous, but this was quite the state-of-the-art in luxury in its day. The next significant Mercedes diesel was from 1955, the 180D, and it made racing history at the Mille Miglia. It not only dominated the overall race with a double victory with a pair of 300 SLRs, but the Mercedes diesel won the class victory as well. So this actually was a racing car, however little it looks like one. And this is the famous Mercedes with fins, the 1968 200D. 2-liter diesel engine, compression ignition, engine displacement, power output 55 horsepower. They made 159,000 200D sedans between 1965 and 1968. And there's still plenty of them running around the streets of Los Angeles, let me tell you. Now here's an unusual Mercedes diesel. It's a speed record car, the C111, built in 1978, and on April 30th this vehicle set a world record on a 7.87 mile circular test track at Nardo in Italy, and it's got a 5-cylinder turbocharged engine running at 13,000 RPM. Turned a lap at a speed of 202 miles per hour. It looks kind of like the cars, atom-powered cars that we were promised back in the 50s, except it turned out to be a diesel-powered car. Now, like the Finn Mercedes, the 1980 300 SD is another car you still see a lot of on the streets. Came on the U.S. market in 1978. It was the world's first production turbocharged diesel passenger sedan, the first ever diesel in a luxury class automobile. They built more than 28,000 units the first year. And here's another significant diesel Mercedes from the year 2000. The C220 CDI made its debut at the Frankfurt Auto Show. It was the first model with direct fuel injection using common rail and a C-Class. And this is 2005 E320 CDI, and it began its production run with several world records. They starting in Laredo, Texas in May of 2005. 3 completely stock production E320 CDI models with the 224 horsepower diesel engine set new records over 100,000, 50,000 kilometers, and 100,000 miles from a standing start without any kind of mechanical problems at all. And here's the first of the Blue Techs, a 2006 E320, and it coincided with the national introduction of low sulfur diesel fuel, which is what really makes it possible for there to be a 50-state diesel. These Blue Tech engines require an additional chemical injected into the fuel, something called urea, although they have a swankier name for it when you go to the dealership. But the tank on board is supposed to last about 10,000 miles, so presumably the consumer will never actually have to bother with filling up the urea tank, but that's what allows a Blue Tech diesel to produce basically the same or less emissions than a similar gasoline engine car.